Ladies and gentlemen, this next mixed martial arts contest will take place in the featherweight division, and it is your main event of Honor Fighting Championship number 4, reaching the summit. Introducing first, to fight out of the blue corner, John DeJesus.
Main event of the evening here at Honor Fighting Championship 4. This is a big fight, Jose. John DeJesus coming out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, representing the Academy MMA, 7-6 record, but as we mentioned in the lead-up, don't let that record fool you. This guy's won 3 out of his last 4 fights, including a victory, big victory over Cody Stevens, which I think really opened up the eyes of a lot of people.
Yeah, he's no stranger to being in hostile territory. This kid comes, he's ready to work, he's good in every area of mixed martial arts. And so it's nice to see him face one of our local up-and-comers who's also very, very skilled and talented.
Originally from the Dominican Republic and grew up in the streets, boxing in the streets, and then found an American Top Team down in Florida. Originally started training in Florida, had a bunch of fights down there, and then made the transition up to the Academy MMA, and he's really kind of found his groove here in his career, training with guys like Kama Worthy, Chris Williams, Sylvester Turkai, all those great coaches, Dan Kakuta, the Muay Thai coach there, all those great coaches and fighters out of Pittsburgh. He's really kind of found the perfect gym for him to really kind of come into his own as a fighter.
Well, one thing I know about these Dominican kids is esos tigres son locos, my friend. All right, that's how they say it. Those guys are willing to come in there, trade. They like to fight. They come from humble upbringings in the Dominican Republic, and these guys have to fight for everything that they have.
Now a purple belt in jiu-jitsu is DeJesus Platano.
Yeah.
Which, definitely really a family man, first and foremost, I know. Talked to him at a couple of shows over in Pittsburgh area. He was actually in the corner for one of his coaches, Kama Worthy, for his last fight. So definitely always a team guy first. And that's a heck of a camp over there in Pittsburgh that they're building.
Oh yeah, this kid's very exciting. I mean, if you haven't had the privilege of watching him fight yet, you're really gonna get a chance to see a guy who can string it all together: the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu, the striking, and he's aggressive.
And making his way to the cage to fight out of the red corner, Josh Rohler.
Josh Rohler coming in representing Evolve MMA, 4 wins in a row, ranked as the number 4 featherweight in Ohio. Last time we saw him, he picked up a submission rear naked choke over Brandon Webb at Honor Fighting Championship 2 back in January. Actually, all 4 of his wins via submission, and including 3 of them via rear naked choke. So, DeJesus definitely has a good guy to train the rear naked choke with, and Mark Jericho.
Oh yeah, and one thing we know about Rock and Roller is that he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. This guy will do anything for you, but he is a savage in that cage, and he can put it all together as well. In his last fight, we saw him transition from strikes right away to taking the back and sinking in a deep, deep submission. He's a young up-and-coming guy who's really something to look forward to.
Take a look here at the tail of the tape between DeJesus and Josh Rohler.
Well, DeJesus is the younger guy. He's got a little bit of a height advantage, and he's got more experience in there as a professional, and against bigger named opponents as well.
Yeah, Rohler, this a little bit of a step up in competition for him, but I know he's been training a lot, of course, with all the guys that are at Evolve MMA, but Taiwan Claxton Bellator fighter, I've seen that they've been training specifically for this fight. This is going to be
a tough match. I'm very excited to see who came in better prepared.
Really, really well-matched fight.
Jesus is punching himself in the face inside of the cage. This guy looks ready.
He's definitely an intense guy. And I think one of the things, too, is definitely a different style of, DeJesus is a really intense guy. Rohler really more of a laid-back guy, but until that fight starts.
Oh yeah, and one thing that I like about Rohler is he takes his time, he starts setting things up. He's very, very technical. He's not just gonna go for anything silly. What he's gonna do is he's gonna set up, pace, start trying to find his rhythm, his range, and then he's gonna strike. He's like a cobra when he does.
And what we've seen, really in the last couple of fights is the evolution of the striking game of Josh Rohler, especially in that Brandon Webb fight.
Oh, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first, he entered the cage first and fights to my right out of the blue corner. He has a professional record of 7 wins versus 6 losses, and he trains with the Academy of MMA. He weighed in today at 143.5 pounds. From Hollywood, Florida, by way of Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania, John DeJesus. And his opponent, he fights out of the red corner. He has a professional mixed martial arts record of 4 wins and 1 loss. He weighed in at 145 pounds, and he trains with Evolve MMA of Ohio. From the CBT, Coventry, Ohio, Josh Rockin' Rohler. Your referee in charge is Jerry Poe. He will bring both fighters together for some final instructions.
Gentlemen, you received your instructions in the back. I expect a good, clean fight. Check yourself at all times, obey my commands all times. Touch them up, let's do this.
Man, what an intense stare down. DeJesus didn't take his eyes off him once.
Main event of the evening here, John DeJesus in the black and yellow, Josh Rohler in the black and red. Jerry Poe is the referee for this one.
And right away, DeJesus taking the center of the octagon, being very light on his feet, throwing a lot of fakes and feints already, trying to see what he can move.
Already looks like he may be trying to change levels, maybe get this fight to the ground.
Like the way he threw that back uppercut, try to see how how Josh was gonna move.
Got the orthodox fighter in Rohler against the southpaw. DeJesus, of course, that straight is going to be open for both fighters, and the head kick.
And right away we see DeJesus using that length and good size. We see Josh trying to set up the head kicks. He's already thrown 3 head kicks. Love the way that John did that. He faked the leg and then threw the kick.
Yeah, almost looked like he faked a level change as well.
Looked like Josh was going to set up that question mark kick and then questioned it.
See a lot of movement from both guys.
And this is what you're going to get at this pro level. These guys are going to feel each other out the first round.
Nice Superman punch followed by a head kick there from DeJesus. And when you got fighters of opposite stances, that's always a challenge to try to get that outside toe. You don't want to be circling into the power of your opponent. A couple of right hands there from Rohler, but DeJesus grabs hold of him and clinch up against the cage.
And for those of you that didn't know what Josh was doing there, he was trying to set up to try to see if he could get that heel hook. You spin under and try to catch both legs.
Yeah, interesting that DeJesus actually lost his last fight against Pat Sabatini via heel hook in the first round. Maybe saw a little bit of a hole there for DeJesus.
DeJesus seems to be controlling the rhythm a little bit better with the length of his strikes.
Nice right hook there. You saw DeJesus counter the strike with the kick.
Josh's corner calling for him to start setting up his strikes a little bit more, his kicks with his hands.
Yup, it's there, do it.
Nice outside leg kick there.
Beautiful kick.
DeJesus, you see trying to time that kick though to counter with the right hand, that right hook.
And fighting a southpaw, he's got to be careful with his lead leg. Beautiful knee good right coming in, but right away, Rohler putting him up against the fence.
Pressure, pressure, pressure.
The one thing that I'm really surprised that De Jesus has not really been using thus far is the jab. I know Chris Williams, his boxing coach, loves for his fighters to throw jabs, especially in MMA.
And you can see the experience here by De Jesus right away. He's not stressing. He's got a lot of pressure on him, but he's digging for underhooks, and he threw a knee to the head.
Yeah, Rohler needs to get his hips in here if he wants to go to finish this, and there he does a good job trying to suck his hips in.
Rohler has to be careful because De Jesus just threw that knee from a very awkward position.
As the high crotch here.
Beautiful.
Switches to a single leg.
Beautiful takedown defense by John De Jesus. And again, calm and patient.
We get strike two.
Signaling to his corner that he's fine and he knows what he's doing.
That is the mark of a veteran professional fighter, to be able to look at your corner.
Strike two. Sit down. Yeah, right there.
And I like what Josh is doing. He's trying to dig that low hook on the ankle. And now he's peppering up the inside of the leg, but he's leaving his gut open. But he's doing the right thing. He's controlling the wrist and he's got head control. He's pushing his head into his
And needs to get his forehead. Now he has perfect head position here against De Jesus,
now,
turning his head into the cage.
The only thing that he leaves a little bit open is that inside knee to the gut.
Keep your head underneath this chin.
Under a minute to go here in the first round. De Jesus with a couple of knees. There is back off the cage and throws another
Beautiful.
Superman punch.
Superman, but that one was with the jab, I believe. De Jesus throwing that jab and then setting up that roundhouse kick.
You see a lot of feints from both of these guys. There's a knee from Rohler.
Beautiful, yeah. Good teep.
Looks like De Jesus may have found his range here.
One thing both guys need to do, when you're fighting an orthodox versus a southpaw, you need to be beating the foot. That's what's important, getting to the outside. Whoever's going to beat that front leg is going to get the better shots.
Yeah, and it's almost, there's a straight left there from De Jesus and follows it up with an uppercut there. That last little flurry may have won De Jesus that round. That is a close round. He landed a clean left there.
Seemed like De Jesus controlled the pace just a little bit more.
And sent Rohler reeling with just a few seconds left in that round. Again, that may have just been enough just to leave enough impression on the judges.
We got to see how they're scoring it, though, because Rohler was controlling against the fence a lot more, but he wasn't able to really set off with the strikes.
Take a look here at the replay. There's the left hand. That was there for De Jesus that whole first round.
And again, see, we're going to notice the feet. You want to see who's going to get out to the front, towards the left side of that front leg, because that's what's allowing that straight left to get through.
Yeah, that outside toe, as I mentioned earlier in that round, and you mentioned as well, the orthodox versus southpaw, that's always a battle because you don't want to be, again, circling into your opponent to his power.
And these young fighters could really learn from watching a guy like Robbie Lawler. He's one of the guys who really does that well in MMA. Beautiful exchange of punches.
De Jesus, interesting with his strikes, leads a lot with his straight left hand, a lot more than you would typically expect from a fighter.
A lot of fakes and feints from Josh Rohler, trying to find the rhythm in his distance.
See De Jesus maybe setting up that head kick here.
Josh has been throwing a lot of kicks. I think he needs to set up a lot more kicks to the lower legs to try to take that spring out of De Jesus' step, since De Jesus has been able to kind of control the pace with his feet.
Now both fighters starting to work the leg kicks here, the outside leg kick a little bit.
Both fighters showing a little bit of wear on their face. Josh has a little bit of a mouse under his left eye, and De Jesus' nose is pretty red.
It's the most that we've seen Josh Rohler have to strike in his pro career.
Well,
his front kick there.
Just missed.
Catches that kick. De Jesus now maybe starting to find his range, getting a little bit of swagger here.
A lot of guys don't realize when you're trying to push the pace on a fighter and he's just got his hands down and he's not afraid of you, sometimes that can mess with the fighter's psyche.
And again, the head movement and the level change is what is making that possible for De Jesus.
You see, I like the way that De Jesus is changing the level, and he's also using that.
See, he
that
leads with
right
that
hand.
left hand.
He's using his right hand going up and down, faking the shoulder, not really allowing Josh to get comfortable. Watch the way that right shoulder is just moving consistently. And Rohler's corner is calling for the level changes, which would help out a lot.
That was a short little check hook. Landed.
Both guys having fun in there, though. They're
Looks
talking
like,
to each other.
yeah, De Jesus getting the better of the stand-up here.
Oh,
2
beautiful.
minutes gone here in round number 2.
De Jesus getting a little cocky in there. He's got to be careful here. Josh is dangerous. Josh can strike at any second.
Yeah, he's got to watch keeping those hands down now. Josh Rohler pushing the pressure here. Lands a left hand there. Now looking for the takedown here. Looks like he may have another high crotch halfway through round number 2.
And again, Josh doing the right thing here, pinning his head against his face. A lot of pressure on that right shoulder and trying to go low on that ankle to pull him off the fence.
And that's that wrestling base of Josh Rohler that he can always go back to.
De Jesus keeping his base very wide, not allowing Josh to get low on those hips. But Josh doing the right thing here.
Nice job sucking out the hips by Josh Rohler. And you hear the crowd erupt as he gets the takedown. The hometown fighter.
Both guys purple belts on the ground, so we'd like to see who's the better purple belt in the cage.
I think the better one might be the one on top.
Well, not necessarily, Because De Jesus right away.
Rohler looking to stack De Jesus. Now has that forearm across.
He threw an up kick
Or
on the
the knee.
ground. Josh was looking to signal a ref,
Oh.
and there's another one. And see, this is what I'm talking about. And right away, De Jesus doing the right thing, clasping both hands high on the back.
And Josh actually has him clasped to his back. Actually, his back was off the mat there for a few seconds.
And what Josh is doing is he's trying to smother. He's putting his hands over the mouth and nose, trying to disrupt the breathing pattern of De Jesus.
Has him stacked here in the corner.
And there he is. He's trying to grab. See, problem is even if he does get a leg lock, it's very hard to finish with your back up against the fence. You need to be able to extend that leg. So if Josh can get his head away from the cage, which is what he's doing, he's got a better chance of finishing this.
You also have to give up the ability to guard your face as he looks now for the straight ankle lock.
The problem with the straight ankle lock is you got to get it right on the Achilles. You can't have it on that calf muscle, which is, and see, De Jesus doing the right thing. He's flexing.
Turning out there now back to his feet.
And see, that's another problem with going for a leg lock in the cage.
Scrambles. Has that single leg now, does De Jesus. What a fight.
Beautiful transitions from both fighters.
Now the head position from De Jesus.
Oh, De Jesus is very quick with those knees. We've seen him throw them a couple times. And that's the difference between fighting amateur and professional. You've got to be careful because those knees can come from any position.
10 seconds left here in round number 2.
Beautiful elbow off the space, creating some space there and throwing an elbow.
Wow, 2 rounds down. I think that both rounds, tough to score both of them. I think maybe Rohler with that big takedown might have taken that second round. It might be 1 round apiece heading into the third.
And again, it all depends how these guys are scoring. But I think both corners are so experienced that they're going to have their fighter prepared and trying to make sure that they're making the correct adjustments.
Got Evolve MMA John Cook and Taiwan Claxton in the corner of Josh Rohler. The Academy MMA Kamaworthy and Dan Kakuta in the corner of John De Jesus. Now we see the replay here. That's that big left hand. De Jesus leading with that left hand. And he definitely got the better of the striking in that second round. He's been getting the better of the striking for a lot of the fight. But that big key takedown there from Rohler might have won him that second round.
De Jesus not respecting at all Rohler striking. And I think Rohler needs to really do what his corner's asking and make sure that he's doing those level changes.
Maybe start
Here we go.
working that jab too. You see a little bit of a cut on the left eye there of De Jesus. So something's landed for Rohler.
De Jesus setting up with that straight left and then going with that right.
Yeah, interesting, he is a southpaw fighter, but almost fights as an orthodox fighter. Uses that straight left almost as a jab to lead.
Oh, beautiful kick. Threw the front leg kick to set up low and then throw the rear leg to the head.
And that landed. Just wasn't a ton of power behind it.
It's enough to definitely get get Josh to be able to really think about things.
First minute of the third round here. There's that jab from DeJesus.
Oh,
another kick.
Beautiful low fake. And what he did was he faked the takedown and then threw the head kick.
And he did that earlier in the fight as well and landed it. Love the creative striking of DeJesus. Right hook, left, and lands from Josh Rohler.
I think Josh just needs to start really putting pressure, not allow this kid any space, because anytime he's letting him get any space, DeJesus is starting to set up with the strikes. You can't let a guy who's getting that comfortable and has that kind of creativity control the center of the cage.
And a lot of Rohler's success has come from him being a little bit more aggressive than he has been in this fight.
Yeah, Rohler's having a lot of success when he's putting him up against the fence. And so if I was corner, I'd be calling that out a little bit more. Oh,
there's a big
knee. Good right.
Some blood now streaming under the left, on the left cheek of Josh Rohler. Right hook. Almost the ole there from John DeJesus.
DeJesus playing the matador, but one problem is he's staying in that center line as well. He's getting the better of the exchanges, but you cannot disregard the power of Rohler.
Rohler trying to emulate one of his corners, Taiwan Claxton, with that flying knee.
Beautiful Muay Thai.
2 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in this fight.
DeJesus is just a faster striker. I think Josh's success is going to be right here.
And that's exactly what his corner, John Cook, was telling him to do. Get his back to the cage.
You keep pressing him. Just press him there.
Now DeJesus doing the right thing. He's digging that arm under. And again, if Josh puts his head on the outside like he did, you're going to see DeJesus throw that knee.
Get ready to step across.
Yeah, and he's also has pressure there. Nice takedown there from Josh Rohler.
Beautiful work, trying to see if he can start taking it back.
DeJesus immediately, though, back to his feet.
This is a guy that's hard to keep down.
It's almost like he landed on a trampoline and popped back up.
And beautiful work using the underhooks to throw him and create space. And again, controlling that center of that octagon.
Now the left to the body there from DeJesus. And the right.
With the jab.
He's starting to pick Josh Rohler apart on the feet. Rohler, though, with the left hand.
Josh is finding success when DeJesus leaves his hands down and throws those kicks. DeJesus is finding success when he's able to throw and keep the center of the ring. Josh needs to continue what he's doing and not allow any space, and DeJesus needs to maintain that space.
Rohler wincing that left eye.
Probably got a little bit of blood in that eye.
Yeah, blood, and it looks like it might be swelling up a little bit here. Just over a minute to go in the fight.
And DeJesus, he's in his range. Rohler needs to put pressure on him.
Minute left to go in the fight, and DeJesus with a right hand and a left kick, and there's that left. He keeps leading with that left, and I think that's been throwing Josh Rohler off the entire fight.
I think Josh is trying to throw the hooks a little bit too much. He needs to start kind of setting up the straight punches down the middle and cutting the angle. Because he's fighting towards his power, unfortunately.
Rohler
Beautiful
now.
work by Rohler.
And
But again, DeJesus is not willing to go down without a fight.
He is.
Man, this guy's got great takedown defense. But beautiful work by Rohler, trying to get his legs off the fence.
Now Rohler finally finishes the takedown. DeJesus' corner telling him throw elbows here. 15 seconds left in this fight.
Rohler's controlling but he's got to do something here.
Hold it, yes.
DeJesus not willing to give up here at the end of the
This guy's
fight.
straight until the end of the bell.
What a fight. Both of those guys know that was an absolute battle. Wow. Fight of the night, easily.
I'm interested to see how the judges score it. I know how I have the fight going, but I'm interested to see whether it was the striking in the range that won the fight, or it was the control against the fence.
It's a tough fight to score.
Oh yes. Both fighters showing that the wear and tear on their face.
I think De Jesus in that third round really started to tee off though, and you finally started seeing the results of that on the face of Josh Rohler. I think that might be the little bit of difference that he needed to take home the victory.
De Jesus saying that he didn't do anything to him on the ground. And so look at this beautiful combination. He went low with the fake on the single leg and then threw that left head kick. And in my opinion, this is where the whole fight was. If Josh would allow the space, De Jesus was getting off. As soon as Josh would close the distance, push him up against the fence, Josh had more success. Both fighters put it on an absolute show for you guys tonight.
Tallying up the judges' scorecards here. As you mentioned, easily the fight of the night. Crowd still is here waiting for the results.
And a beautiful show of respect amongst the fighters.
It's my favorite part of the fight is when you got two, real true pros in the fight. After the fight, they kind of break it down between each other. Josh Saenz has the official result. We will have that momentarily.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds and 15 minutes of professional mixed martial arts, our main event has come to a conclusion. Your winner by unanimous decision in the blue corner, Josh